Nisa.
Let's go right into the air! Walk in the woods, found a dollar, found a dollar, walked in the woods, found a dollar, found a dollar, found a dollar in the woods, found a dollar in the woods. I was in the woods, found a dollar. Should I give your mom a motherfucking holler? Found a dollar in the woods, and I'm feeling so goddamn good. Found a dollar in the woods, and I'm feeling so goddamn good.
What's up everyone, Stonic10 here. And I've got a quick one today discussing a recent breakdown that Keemstar has had over his Lolcow Live podcast. Lolcow Live is a podcast owned by Keemstar, Wings of Redemption, Boogie2988 and Tommy C, with the premise of the show being getting different Lolcows and Lolcow antagonists to interact with Wings and Boogie, but this format has quickly gone out the window though, as the pre-recorded episodes usually just consist of Wings and Boogie complaining how fat they are and how much their lives suck. And the live show, which is hosted by Keemstar, usually consists of the same thing, but with the addition of Keemstar there to lecture them. Back in January, there was an issue with the Lolcow Live editor Connor. He was not posting shorts from the shows, and he'd not been updating the Spotify, both of which were in his job description. And this led to a berating from Keemstar live on the air. He was given one more chance, and from then on, Connor was doing exactly what was required of him. Although over the last couple of days, things seem to have fallen apart quite rapidly. It all started Tuesday, April the 2nd, when Keemstar had failed to come up with any ideas for the live show and delayed it by one day. This is the second week in a row that this had happened, and it left the fans feeling a little annoyed, as there is plenty of content that Keem could be taking advantage of, but just doesn't. Keem's designated role is to be running the live show, and this includes coming up with ideas and hosting it. Despite this though, with Keem having no ideas, he pawned the job off to Connor and asked him to find interesting posts from the Reddit for Keem and the Lolcows to react to the following day. So Connor does just that, and he makes a collection of Reddit posts for Keem for the show, roughly about 2 pages. The next day, Keem goes live, and for some reason I just don't understand at all, he goes through every single Reddit post in the docket by himself.
If he's that scared, dude tells stories and is fake as heck. So we got that going on. Okay. Everyone is demanding Shoe Nice and Blade. That's right.
The idea for the show was for Reddit posts for Keem to react to with Boogie, Wings and Tommy in the call to generate conversation with them. The docket was gone through in about 10 minutes. It was supposed to last the whole fucking show, and he just skipped over all of it. And Wings didn't even bother to fucking show up. It just makes no sense as to why he watched and reacted to all of these posts alone. It ruined the whole show, as it was supposed to be a Reddit reaction stream.
All right, so that's pretty much what we have. That's the entire thing that Connor put together. The entire docket. It took me about 9 minutes to go through that. That's the entire docket. Connor, that's the entire docket. I called you last night and asked you to put together a docket for the show. That was the entire docket of things to go over. What's going on, Tommy?
Not much. I thought we were supposed to read the docket to the cows, so that makes it kind of extend itself.
I've actually got a copy of the docket from the exact show right here, and to me, it seems like there was plenty to generate conversation between everyone, and it probably would have been a fine show. Instead, he just spent the whole show trashing Connor's docket and scrambling to find someone to call in, which fails horribly.
Yo, what's up, Blade? What are you doing?
Driving around. What's going on?
Well, we're live on the show. You gonna be home soon?
What's going on?
Well, there's rumors that you have raped another person, so we want to ask you about it.
Bullshit.
Well, I don't think it's real either, but we wanted to ask you about it.
Well, I've never. That's a stupid statement because I've never raped anybody, but I got a bunch of stuff going on. But if you want a statement, no, I didn't rape anybody.
Well, guys,
Thanks, we're good.
guys, I told you it wasn't true. All right, thanks, Blade.
This is literally how desperate Keemers become for content. But anyway, back to the docket. There's some alright stuff in here. Some stuff about Boogie's girlfriend, that could have been a segment, but no, he reads it all by himself at the start. A post about how Blade and Shoe Knight should debate, which would probably be entertaining, and Keem skips over it. There was an EDP update, Tommy declaring war on clip channels, something about Fat Olympics, and a lot more. Now, it's not a great docket by any means, but it's exactly what Keem asked for. It's a collection of interesting posts from the Reddit. I don't know what else Keem expected, but he was not happy with Connor's work at all. A quick little side note as well. Connor is just the editor for Lolcow. He doesn't normally make dockets for the show, and it's not in his job description. Keem's role is the live show, and that includes making a docket each week. But Keem was probably too busy hanging out with motherfuckers named UFO Shane or some shit talking about alien conspiracies, and failed to do his job for the week. Connor decided to call into a YouTuber named Boblax at the live stream, mainly because he was unavailable during the Lolcow stream and wanted to respond to the criticism that Keem had publicly put out against him. Connor and Boblax discuss the situation. Both of them do say some pretty negative things about Keem and how he fell off, which is true, but yeah, in Keem's defense, Connor probably should not have said this.
Did you ever watch Keem back in the day, like in 2014?
Yeah, he was a lot better. He was a lot more funny. I don't know what happened.
You want to know my theory on Keemstar? This is getting into very, very spurky theory, but so you know how he quit Drama Alert, right? Like Keemstar, he quit Drama Alert because he was obviously falling off. You know what's really funny?
Doesn't he still do them on Snapchat, like with him speaking?
Yes, but you know what's really funny about that? For some reason, he does it on Snapchat. That's kind of short form content, right? Like his episodes are probably like 5 minutes, maybe, or less. It's kind of short form content.
Yeah.
But that's the only platform he does on. He could upload 5-minute videos to TikTok. He can upload 5-minute videos to even YouTube, or I don't think Instagram does 5 minutes, but he could probably put 1-minute clips out there on those channels. But he only does it on Snapchat. You want to know why? You want to know why he only does it on Snapchat?
Why? I think I know why, but tell me.
It's the only platform that you can't publicly see the views. Every other platform, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you can go look at the person's page and see how many views their shit is getting.
Yeah.
Snapchat, you can't. He never has to be pressed about how he fell off.
Keem did catch wind of what was happening, so he did call in to confront Connor. And Keem joins the call, and he keeps being interrupted by Connor, which makes him even more mad.
I felt like this could have been such a good show. But it's
Yeah, you felt like it should have been a good show without
Dude,
fucking
why did you not read your Grace Thorpe post? Why did you delete that from the docket?
Because I already responded to it on the show before, but you cut it out of the edit. I've already literally said everything in that post word for word on the show before. But let me ask you a question. Why didn't you take more than, hey, why are you going to interrupt me every time I talk? Every time I talk.
That's one time, by the way. But okay,
No. Ever since I've been in here, you've been talking over me. Ever since I've been in here.
We've been in here for 30 seconds. Go ahead, Keemstar.
Yeah, and you've interrupted me every single time, and you're doing it again. And you're doing it again.
Go ahead.
So are you here? Are you asking me a question? Are you asking me a question, or do you want to hear yourself talk? What is it?
Keemstar, ask your question.
Cope more. Giggle and cope more.
If there's one thing I know about Keem, he does not like being cut off.
I tried to do that, and I tried to do the rehab thing. I tried to rewire his brain with shrooms.
Okay. You flew him out to your house, right? And then, yeah, the mushrooms, as you were just saying.
This sets off a heated argument between Keemstar and Connor, and they berate each other over who's right and who's wrong. Connor then finally snaps, and he calls Keem a retard. And this is when Keem made the decision to fire him, as he did not take kindly to employees speaking back to him with such disrespect.
You obviously have no idea how to run a show when you're going through Reddit posts. Why the fuck would you read Reddit posts about Boogie without Boogie in the fucking call? What was the thought process there?
It was boring. The docket was bad. There was nothing to react to.
What the fuck are you talking about? You're reading the Reddit. The whole point of the fucking show is the Reddit. What are you talking about?
But the docket was trash. The docket was trash.
You're reading the Reddit post. What are you retarded? You're not going to read Reddit posts about Boogie with Boogie in the call. Are you actually just retarded? What are you talking about?
I'm actually confused because there's
no shit.
there
You're
was
confused.
nothing
You couldn't
in
fucking
the
run the
docket.
show. No
There's
shit,
nothing
you're
in the
fucking
fucking
confused.
docket.
Yeah, I can tell you're fucking confused, Keemstar, because you couldn't run the fucking show. No shit, bro. If you weren't confused, you would have brought the cows in and had a whole, like, talk with them while you're reading over the fucking Reddit post, but you didn't.
Now, Connor was going pretty hard on Keem in this call, and it's never okay for an employee to speak to a boss that way. However, Keemstar was disrespectful to him first. He went live, skipped over the Reddit posts alone in 15 minutes, and then said publicly that Connor had made a bad docket and was bad at his job, when the whole reason for the stream being bad was Keemstar's fault.
Elkeem, spam it, Elkeem.
But despite taking a little bit of accountability for this, he tries to play the victim and pin the issues onto Connor. But yeah, in saying that, calling into Boblax and airing out this situation was probably not a good idea, as there was no scenario where he kept his job after that. But you gotta look at the other side of it. Why does Keem have a right to berate Connor or any of his other employees without them giving the shit back to him? Connor went out of his way to do this job for Keem, and it wasn't even his responsibility. Imagine in the real world, and you're at work, and your boss asks you to do something that normally isn't in your job description. You do the job, as asked, and your boss starts saying how bad of a job you've done and how shit of an employee you are in front of the other employees and customers. It would be a terrible look for that business. Connor made a post on the Lolcow Live subreddit explaining his side of the story, which I'll briefly skim through now. Last night, Keemstar melted down on Boblax's live stream because I went on and returned fire back to him about how horribly he ran the show. First he debated me, and then he got caught lying. Then he called in later solo and continued to lie. Number 1, lied that he manages me and my content output. This is not true. Tommy C was designated to manage me, and him and I have a whole group chat where we send constant updates and what's going on. I rarely speak to Keemstar about my output. It's not his job. When I showed the full docket to Boblax, he made up a lie that the docket got glitched and everything got deleted. There is proof that he edited the docket 5 minutes before going live to remove his post about Grace 4. After he was shown the full docket, which he intentionally ignored, he ran with 2 contradictory narratives at the same time. There was nothing in the docket, and the docket was there, but it was glitched. The most obvious attempt to force drama by intentionally bombing the stream and throwing me under the bus for his own incompetence. How Keem failed the fans miserably. Of course he may be wondering, why wouldn't Keem fire me if I talk smack about him? Well, Keem acts like we have a professional work environment, and you can't talk to your boss that way, as if this is a McDonald's and he's a professional that doesn't openly talk shit about me for content. I have no issues playing along with it. It's funny, but the problem is he can't take it back. So he has to justify firing me because he has thick skin. Deleted his embarrassing Grace 4 coat post from the docket, proof at the bottom, didn't read the replies clowning on him. Didn't even read the post I put in there criticizing myself. Delayed the stream from Tuesday to Wednesday for the 2nd week in a row because he couldn't come up with any content, didn't talk about EDP, didn't read the subreddit's opinions on Boogie dying, didn't poll the chat on Frank Hassel or Flaming Star, which was in the docket, didn't come up with the Fat Olympic ideas, tried to bring in Blade randomly but not Shoe Nice, acted if there was nothing there when there are 11 posts, and he skipped past it really fastly, and Keem's an entertainer, and that he should be able to do his job and get the ball rolling with that content that Connor had provided. He also hired a new editor within 10 minutes after firing Connor, a new guy who works for his UFO company, so it seems like it was something that was already planned from the start. He ignored Tommy defending Connor over the docket and Boogie saying I'd be nothing but great. Since the January fiasco, I've done everything in my job description plus more. If he wanted to fire me back then, he should have. But instead he kept me around for 2 more months and then decided to force a fake narrative to justify it. I went beyond my job for him, gathering content after he failed to do so 2 weeks in a row. And then he refused to read the docket and intentionally bagged the stream. So what's even the point of going live for Reddit review? He would rather play gay games with me than put on a watchable show for you guys, involving the subreddit and community. And when I decided to play along, he has thin skin and fired me.
You are not a fucking victim. I'm the victim in this scenario of your fucking laziness.
And then we also have Keem, who put out a Twitter video explaining his side of the situation, where he claims the main reason Connor was fired was for interrupting him, and that Connor is holding the logins for the Spotify hostage, which is forcing Keem's hand legally.
Ladies and gentlemen of Lolcow, I feel like I need to update you on some things. We have fired the editor, and the editor is now trying to push a narrative that Keemstar sucks. Keemstar doesn't do anything for Lolcow. Keemstar failed, and he tried to blame everything on Connor, the editor, for the bad docket, right? Not true. First of all, I said in the stream, El Keem. Everybody spam El Keem. I failed. It was a shitty show. I fucked up. So I took full accountability in the moment, right? But there were the other things that failed. The docket was complete shit. Wings didn't even show up, right? There were failures all around. That is not why Connor got fired. And speaking about the fucking docket, right? Apparently there was a page and a half, and on stream I was only seeing one page. Like, I didn't see the other page, right? And again, I called Connor multiple times, right, during the stream, wouldn't answer the fucking phone. So there were a few things I missed, but regardless, I wasn't planning on firing Connor for the shitty fucking docket, all right? Because it wasn't good, even though I did miss stuff. Another narrative that Connor's trying to push is that I wouldn't react to the post that I made on Reddit about Grace and how I'm not trying to fuck Grace and the reasons why she was on. The reason why I didn't react to that last night on stream is because I already publicly said it on last week's show, all right? All documented. I already addressed the whole thing, so I'm not gonna regurgitate the same fucking thing over and over again. The reason why Connor got fired is Bo Blacks was streaming last night with Connor, and Connor was just sitting there talking all kinds of crazy shit. And I found out about the stream because fans at Lolcow were spamming me about it, and I go in there, I'm like, this is fucking crazy that they're just on a stream right now saying all this shit about me. So I went on the stream, and he kept interrupting me every time I spoke. And he's calling me a retard, he's calling me this. Bro, you're my fucking employee. You don't talk to me like that. Like, who the fuck are you? So I fired him, right? So now he's running on this narrative like, oh, you have thin skin. Like, you're just, the real retard is you, Connor. Go try to talk to your boss like that anywhere else in the fucking world. I have so many fucking employees, and I got dockets built for me every day by Gino for Drama Alert that are 9 pages long, all right? Like, I have employees, and none of them talk to me like that, and they all work. They all grind, all right? So it's not just that I have these complaints about your work, it's also that you're a disrespectful fucking asshole. So, yeah, that's why he's gone, and the false narrative of, I won't take accountability for the shitty show and I'm just blaming Connor for it. No, all right? I fucked up. My show sucked, and I'm taking accountability for it. Connor is not fired for the shitty docket. Connor is fired because when I caught him talking shit about me and I went to go speak to him, he kept interrupting me. He wouldn't even let me speak. So he is fired. He is gone. Also, Connor's like holding the logins to like the Spotify stuff hostage. I asked him for that, and he didn't give it to me. So we are going to be filing or sending a cease and desist. I just got off the phone with my lawyers. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that needs to happen like legally. But yeah, that's the gist of the story right now. Again, I'm taking accountability for my fuck ups. Connor is not fired for the shitty docket he made. That is not the reason. He's fired for fucking talking shit to me, calling me retard, interrupting me on a fucking public live stream and not letting me even fucking speak after he had free reign to just sit there and say whatever the fuck he want, spinning false narratives, right? That he was fired because of Keemstar not taking accountability, or that Keemstar avoided the whole Grace post because, you know, it made me feel embarrassed, or whatever the fucking false narratives he's trying to spin. None of that is true. You're literally fired for interrupting me. That's why. When I called into Boblax's stream, you should have sat there and listened to what I had to say.
He's so fucking mad. This shit is so funny. This dude is 40 years old, freaking out on Twitter over Lolcows. Keemstar, you fell off. Keemstar expects people to conduct themselves professionally, when he himself does not conduct in a professional manner. He will often privately, and sometimes publicly, berate his employees that do not do work up to his standard. And this exact thing has been done to Connor before. Now, granted, Connor was not posting the shorts in the Spotify episodes, but regardless, it's a matter that should have been handled privately. There's many examples of this happening throughout Keemstar's career, and I think the worst one that actually comes to mind is Chris the Narc, ex-producer of the Keemstar show, who Keem would berate on stream every single episode. One day, Chris didn't format an SD card properly. Keem was drunk and decided to do an hour-long live stream dedicated to berating Chris.
Listen, the only reason we are live right now, people, is because I want to shit on fucking Chris. All right? Chris has pissed me off so fucking bad, bro. And just so you know, I've had so many drinks and smokes and everything else tonight. I'm in a state where I'm totally probably embarrassing myself.
You're not.
I don't care.
No,
I don't care.
You're real, man. You are real.
I don't care. Nope. I want to go live because I'm this angry and I need to vent my frustration.
So yeah, in my opinion, turning issues with your employees into public spectacles for your live streams is pretty unprofessional. And if Connor wants to call him a retard, then he has every fucking right to do so. But this whole thing seems to have really split the Lolcow Live fans. Some think Connor is right, and some think Keem is right. But personally, I've seen more people against Keem than agreeing with him, with many claiming that Keemstar is actually the real Lolcow. Yo, Keem, have you ever realized that you're actually the real Lolcow on this show?
Yes, I do. I do.
Like everyone's watching. I'm Stonic 10. Although despite the court of public opinion, Connor was gone, and Keemstar brought in a new editor from his UFO company named Tuba.
It came to a point, and look, nobody on this team, except for me, wanted to get rid of Connor. I was literally outvoted, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure.
And you did it anyway.
And I did it anyways, because it came to a point where I couldn't work with the kid anymore. I literally couldn't.
On Sunday that week, the Lolcow episode that was edited by Tuba was released, and he'd accidentally duplicated Wings' audio files so he sounded all fucked up. It was weirdly cut together, and there were times where there's supposed to be an image on the screen, and Tuba had failed to put that in.
Here's the thing, like I objectively, when I call somebody a bad person, I think of somebody like breaking into somebody's house for fucking drug money. I don't think of somebody be like, oh, your kid's crying.
No, it's Boogie and Wings.
So much for the way better editing, Keemstar. Lolcow Live is going downhill, and fast, and the death of it is going to be Keemstar and his fragile ego. He thinks that everyone loves him, and he blocks out anyone giving legitimate criticism about his train wreck of a show. His live shows are always run poorly. He never has any ideas, and the only interesting thing about them is when things go wrong and Keem has like a complete meltdown live on the air. Other than that, it is complete slop, where he thinks that bringing on the Thorpes, an overly sexual father and daughter, is good content. Keem's original vision for Lolcow Live was supposed to be a show about lolcows, but instead, we're just seeing the transformation of Keem into a lolcow himself. It's a matter of time before this entire show implodes on itself. My name has been Stonic10. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.
One, score on!